What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Once again, we're here for career mode, episode number 29 for the Dutch Grand Prix. Make sure you check out the previous one if you haven't already. In Belgium, Spa, always an iconic race, and as you can see by the pictures, it was a spicy one indeed. Now, let's address the title of today's video. Is Nico Rosberg's career over? It might be, you know, because his contract is up for renewal. And we're going to have a cheeky look at the driver market and see who is available out there. As you guys know, I've made it no secret that I want to have Daniel Ricciardo on the team. We are going to approach him and we're going to see if we can snap the Australian up. We're approaching. Does he accept? No is the answer. So everyone who wanted to have Rosberg stay on the team, your wishes have been granted. Even if Ricciardo accepted, I think I still would have. I still think I would have signed Rosberg. I think that's what it came down to. I just wanted to see what Ricciardo's demands were, and Rosberg's seat was safe for the most part. He's been a good driver this season. He deserves a full season, so that's what we're going to give him. But it is nice to know what Daniel expects. Basically, we need 6th in the constructors this season, and then we can get him, essentially, provided we have the money. So, yeah, that's actually another thing we've got to do. We've now got to save up for Daniel Ricciardo at the end of Season 2, so that is going to be tricky. But anyway, Nico accepts the contract. He accepts the terms of the contract as well, and he'll be driving us for the rest of Season 2, so that's no drama there. Let's get into this episode, rather. Leave a like, subscribe if you're enjoying the series. I'm really enjoying it. It's quite a closely contested battle, potentially in the championship. There's a lot of teams and drivers still in it, so we need to have our wits about us if we are to remain at the pointy end of the field, and that starts with upgrades. So we can do some front or rear downforce upgrades. I don't think they're the ones to be targeting at the moment. I'm having a look at brakes. That's something we can do, which will make a big difference for this car. It's quite potent in a straight line now, and as such, we are struggling to pull up the car, and that's particularly going to be an issue when we get to the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. The braking zones are a little bit longer than what I want them to be, so I think that's something I might do. There's nothing else we can really do in other departments. We just had a look. So it looks like braking is going to be the one. We can rush it in time for the Italian Grand Prix. 54% failure chance, but I tell you what, I think it's worth the risk. We're going to go for it. We're not really strapped for resource points at this stage. What we are lacking is, I guess, department upgrades. We're starting to get to our ceiling of what we can do for the rest of this season. So the cash is a little bit tight at the moment, and especially when you consider we have to save up for Ricciardo now. I don't know if we're going to be able to afford any more department upgrades this season, unless we can bring in more sponsors and boost the acclaim somehow. We are once again reaching another sticking point. Decisions that have to be made. Anyway, we're into the weekend now. And yeah, as you can see on screen, we are struggling for tire temperatures, particularly the working hand side of the car, that being the left side, which does all the work through the high-speed right-handers. So that's actually really good that we've noticed it now in practice, because we can actually do something about it with regards to the setup. So I think what I might do is I might lower the tire pressures, but yeah, to be struggling with tire temps this badly at the start of the weekend, it's not a good omen for the rest of the weekend. Okay, normally these issues only, crop up in qualifying, once we can't do anything, once we're fully loading up the tires, or in the race. So yeah, we're going to lower the tire pressures, particularly on the left-hand side. We're going to run minimum on the front, and we're going to lower the left rear a little bit more than the right rear to hopefully help with temps on that side of the car. But there we go, that was practice 2, 1 and done. Nico getting a newfound bout of confidence. Some 6 seconds faster than me somehow, and 3.5 seconds faster than the rest of the field. finding 7 seconds on his last lap somehow. So Nico's confidence is very high, as is Mick Schumacher's. He found 5 seconds. Mazepin found 4 seconds on his last lap. So the AI have certainly found something in that last run of practice. But there we go. That's the weekend. It's time now for qualifying. It's funny what a little bit of loyalty to your driver will do. Nico, I'm expecting big things in this qualifying session. I want you to be on pole by 4 seconds. And I'd love for you to run away with a race win this weekend, take some points off of Mercedes and, help, buffer the gap until we can get a better car where you'll be winning by, who knows, 10 seconds every qualifying session. Anyway, here we go for the first run in Q1. It's an 8.4. Puts us P16 at the moment, which is not good enough considering where we are. And that is a big mistake on our second lap on the same set of tyres. And now the tyres are well and truly cooked. So no amount of tyre pressure adjustment will fix that. But that's one for the scrapbook. That's one for the... Basically, let's put that behind us and not do that again. Let's not touch that inside curve at the penultimate corner, and we should be fine. We're going out again on another new set of tyres. Not ideal. I don't want to use 2 new sets in Q1, but we don't have the pace to get away with just the one run. Anyway, last 2 corners. We don't bottle it on this occasion. Improvement of 2.5 tenths. Hopefully, this is going to be enough to see us through to qualifying 2. It is very, very close to the midfield. Across the line, and we are safe. P12, 4 tenths away from our teammate though, so we still have some work to do. Yeah, I think I was talking about this in the last episode. This isn't the track for us. This isn't the track for our car. You need a lot of downforce here, and maybe some weight redistribution upgrades as well to help counteract the chassis imbalance or the tire temperature issues. Either way, we've got a lot of work to do. We're gonna do extra running in Q2 now that we've made it through. I'm gonna do lots of running on the used sets of tires, and then right at the end of the session, we'll put on the only new set of softs we've got left. So hopefully that'll be enough to maybe get us through to Q3. I think a little bit more practice will do me some good. So yeah, let's throw the kitchen sink at it in this session. 6 minutes to go, and this second run here on the second set of used tyres is a much better lap. That puts us P11 and pretty much only a tenth away from my best time all weekend. And that's on a used set of tyres. So at this point, I think we're well poised for the race, don't you? Strategic pole position is not a bad place to be. If we throw a new set of tyres at it, we're only going to get in the fringes of the top 10. We're not going to be able to challenge the likes of Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull. We're just not there at this track. So I think I'm just going to sit this one out. Unfortunately, everyone improved, as I think everyone else was running used tyres. I should have realized this. And when everyone put on new tyres right at the end of the session, everyone improved. And we've been demoted down to P16. So, yeah, not exactly strategic pole position like I was hoping. P16 on the grid. That makes things a little bit more tricky for the race. So, yeah, I mean, the silver lining is we've got 2 brand new sets of tyres for the race. We've got a brand new set of mediums, which you haven't touched, and I never really touched in qualifying. We've saved those, and we've saved a brand new set of softs. So, yeah, we've got options. We are going to take a new engine in this race. We're going to start from the back, and who knows? Play our way in with strategy. I might even start on the hard compound tires and run really long and really go from there, because it looks like this is going to be a thermal degradation style circuit. So we'll do something different and see what we can do.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside at races across Europe and throughout the world. Now at long last, they have a Grand Prix to call their own. It's a warm welcome once again to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Benjamin. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Lando Norris and Bottas, Hamilton, Sainz, Rosberg and Pierre Gasly, Vettel, Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda and Armstrong, Russell, Giovinazzi, Daniel Ticktum and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, Stroll, they've taken a grid penalty, and Benjamin.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Okay then, here we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. Interesting that the hard compound tyre is actually the recommended one to start the race on. Because I was actually looking to do something completely different to the AI, starting on the hards, but it looks like everyone else has got the same idea. So we're going to change up the meta again, and we're going to go for the mediums, where we just want to put ourselves in a different scenario to those around us. So we'll chuck on the mediums, and that'll make us a lot faster than anyone on hards at the start of the race. So if anything, that should actually be a great shout, because we can cut through everyone really quickly and then kind of undercut the hard runners, but also at the same time overcut the race leaders. So hopefully this is the perfect strategy. We're going to lower the tire pressures again because, well, I don't want to have any dramas in the race regarding tire temps. We can increase the right-hand side tires. They are absolutely fine. With our 22 place grid penalty, we are starting from the moon here in the Dutch Grand Prix. Looks like a pretty good start up against Lance Stroll. We're going to get him on the run down into turn 1. You can see Mazepin going slowly, blocked by a wall of Williams through turn 1. Can we get up the inside of Ticktum, our former teammate? Nicholas Latifi, also former teammate. I mean, I guess at this point, with all the career modes I've done over the years, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who isn't a teammate on this grid. I'm looking up and down the field. I've been teammates to everyone. Maybe not Giovinazzi, unless I partnered him in 2018 career mode. No, I think Antonio Giovinazzi might be the only person in F1 who I haven't been a teammate of. Anyway, we're getting up the inside of Mick Schumacher there, making the most of our medium compound tyres. We are up against slower cars around us, so even though Schumacher has the better tyre, we have the better car, and he got backed behind Armstrong, who we now subsequently get up the inside of into Sector 3, and that is job done. P16. Do I hear P15? Yes, I do. Thank you, and goodbye to the Italian Jesus. P15, and yeah, this start has been, I'd say, a pretty good one. As you can see, a good exit out of the last corner. My teammate! No, Rosberg! Nico, why? You were 5 seconds faster than anyone in practice, and now he's going to be last at the end of lap 1. Just shows that practice indeed counts for nothing. Anyway, P12 now in this Grand Prix, putting pressure on Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly. If we can get Gasly in quick time, that would make our race open up for us rather well as we take a corner cut there, trying to get up the inside of Sebastian Vettel, who is crowding all around the race circuit, and we found an opening, but had to take a warning to do so. P11 now, Gasly is next, and if the soft compound tyre is anything to go by, as we have an itchy nose, then you know, we should be able to make pretty quick work of him if his tyres overheat, much like ours do. So now we've got past all the hard compound runners, and now we're just up against people on better tyres at this stage. So we've got ourselves into a really good position. We're pretty much where we would have been if we didn't take an engine penalty plus a good first lap. So taking the extra engine penalty has ultimately cost us nothing in this race. As you can see, yellow flag in the third sector. That is for Daniel Tichtum, another former teammate of Benjamin Daly. The Williams is out of the Grand Prix. Is that going to be a safety car? That would make things rather awkward for my strategy. I think we're okay. We are okay for the time being. That would have really benefited the soft compound tyre runners, as their first stint is not going to be very long at all. They'll want to get off these tyres as soon as possible and probably go on to hard compound tyres. But yeah, in the meantime, we've been working away at the Alpines. Hard to tell whether their tyres have been overheating or not, but we certainly have the pace on these guys. You can see, great run out of the last corner. Gasly has DRS. We have the slipstream, though, of his teammates, so Alpine's not really working together there. And we're going to go right around the outside of the Frenchman, and that might well be a spot in the points for us now. I have to check the leaderboard. It is, yeah, indeed P10. So there we go. We now have a point against our name in this Dutch Grand Prix. However, if you look at the gap to the next group of cars, well, it's rather large. It's going to be quite difficult to cut into that 11-second lead that those guys have. But so long as we can get Ocon, we'll be best of the rest. I don't know what happened on that first lap, but I think it must have been Nico Rosberg going very slowly, holding everyone up and allowing the race leaders to get away. So in a way, he helped me on the first lap, but at the same time, the leaders are long gone at this stage as we make easy work of Esteban Ocon, and we now have 2 points against our name in this Dutch Grand Prix. So now it's where the tough work begins, as there's a yellow flag for one of the cars up ahead. It's one of the Mercedes. It is Valtteri Bottas. So in the last episode, it was Hamilton having a DNF, and now it's the other Mercedes. My goodness, these guys need to sort out their engines, because this reliability is going to cost them world championships. Not one, but plural. It'll cost them the drivers and the constructors at this rate. Red Bull in Season 1, they were the fastest car, or one of, but their reliability was shocking and handed the constructors and the drivers to Mercedes on a platter, and now it's the opposite in Season 2.
Okay, copy that.
I can't believe this. Anyway, this is the battle up front. We have Daniel Ricciardo still running the alternate strategy, as is Max Verstappen. So these guys are looking very comfortable. They're 1 and 2. They're going to be running really long. The guys behind them are on softs. Going to have to stop early and maybe run into traffic. Or will they? I guess we'll find out in a moment. I don't think it's a long transitional time in the pit lane. Hamilton on the hard compound tyres. So he's not utilising the 2 softest compounds. Neither is anyone else inside the top 5, which is interesting. You would have thought that they'd have the tyre wear upgrades to go to the end from here. But they're playing it safe, are the AI. And, well, I guess they dived it in early because they didn't want to get undercut by me, potentially. So, yeah, they've just cleared me on the hard compound tyres, and they'll be going to the end of the Grand Prix now. So we're going to see if we can run it with Hamilton, maybe even catch up to him. For about half a lap, I was hoping I'd be able to overtake him. But those dreams were quickly dashed as Hamilton has pulled away from us ever so slightly on his cold, hard compound tyres. So the fact that he's pulled away straight away means that it's pretty much curtains for us in terms of holding up one of our championship rivals. Out comes Sainz out of the pit lane. We do jump him, but he's not the kind of person we want to be holding up. We actually would prefer to probably let him go, to have a little bit of a go at Lewis Hamilton and put some pressure on him later on in the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, next lap, both Verstappen and Ricciardo on medium compound tyres come in only 1 lap later than the soft compound tyre runners. So that alternate strategy was probably a bit pointless. It's pointless if you're going to run so at the same time as the other guys. You may as well keep going and see what you can get away with. But I guess maybe they're playing it safe. They don't want to get undercut by the hard compound runners. Who knows? But it's pit stop time for us now, and we can come in if we do want to use the hards. But now I'm thinking that there's almost no chance of me gaining a position. I may as well stay out and run long and go for the softs, as we've had a bit of a spin. We touched the inside curb there. Sainz manages to miss us, but that is a clumsy mistake to make in this career mode race. You can see the front left tyre is overheated. It was not happy. There's the replay. It was just the slightest little touch with the curb, an unforced error of such, and the safety car has been deployed. That's a massive overreaction from the FIA. We've got going again. There's no danger to anyone on the circuit. There's no debris. There's no nothing. But the safety car has been deployed. And if anything, that's probably helped us in this race. Because now we're going to be able to catch up to the pack and have a go at these guys for the rest of the Grand Prix. We're going to come in now. We're not going to go for hards. We're actually going to box and go for soft compound tyres. So we're only about a lap or two away from the softs actually being able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix. But with the safety car laps, we might be okay. As we rejoin on the circuit, it's a 1.9 second stop from the boys. They did a great job getting me in and out so quickly. But we have been undercut by the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. That's the only downside to that spin. Otherwise, great strategy, great decision making there, Ben. Our race, in a way, has been saved. I think we were doomed to finish in P8 in this race, but a mistake has helped.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, so here we go. Ready for the race restart. This is how the order sits. It is Verstappen from Ricciardo from Leclerc, Lando Norris, then Sergio Perez. Mercedes, nowhere really to be seen apart from Hamilton, who's only a couple places up the road. As we get this race back underway, and we get the Alpine pretty much from the get-go. He's run straight into the back of Schumacher. That's Ocon pretty much out of this Grand Prix. He's lost his wing. I don't know if he lost the tyre or not, but that could well cause another safety car as we're going right around the outside of Carlos Sainz. And this is for position. We are now in P7 with so much more up for grabs. Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Verstappen, Ricciardo, they're all under threat from us now. We've got 2 steps softer compound tyres than them, and we have tyre wear upgrades, so we're probably going to be able to make it to the end from here. So here we go, up into overtake. No DRS on this occasion. Hamilton feeling under pressure because of our straight line speed, and there we go, right round the outside. We do get Hamilton at turn 1, and that is massive for the championship. Absolutely massive. I can't believe my luck. Maybe Alex Gillen is right after all. I am the luckiest person on the F1 game. And now Verstappen is having some issues. I've just heard over the team radio. He has just set a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but that issue looks like it's materialized itself on that straight. So I guess we'll find out whether that problem is either a terminal one or a niggly performance issue for Verstappen. It looks like it is a performance issue because he's massively under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo, and this is only backing the pack further up into me. This is going to help my race no end in overtaking these guys if they're going to be stuck behind the race leader. So next guy is Perez. We might be able to have a go down into turn 1 once again, but the leaders are squabbling. They're holding each other up massively. There's a massive train now, and when the AI are in trains, they are vulnerable. Great exit up against Sergio Perez. We're going to go right around the outside there. Clean as you like. And now, we're in the top 5 with DRS, with Slipstream. Leclerc under pressure. No, he's not. He's going up the inside of Verstappen. It's 3 wide down into turn 1. This is massive for the championship. We are going to get Verstappen, who is absolutely limping home to the end of this Grand Prix. Here comes Hamilton right around the outside. Hamilton's hit Verstappen. Hamilton is out of the Grand Prix. He's got front wing damage. Well, he might still be in this race, but he is not going to score any points from here. This is a mental race. Safety car is out once again. I can't believe my eyes. What is actually happening? Lando Norris goes right around the outside of not only Verstappen, but Leclerc as well. And then Verstappen loses his head, squeezes Leclerc, and in the process, Hamilton has just run into the back of Verstappen. And after all that, I'm in 3rd place. Verstappen is now pulling into the pit lane. He's got some kind of damage, might be side pod, or it's definitely front wing, which is
had a bit of a knock, so he's changing that for precautions. Going on to soft compound tyres. Hamilton is in as well. So both these championship contenders are at the back of the grid, and it's going to be a 1-2 for McLaren with Marduk Motorsport in third place. This is the dream right here. This is the absolute dream. We have a shot at a race win now with our championship rivals down the order, and this was all caused by me spinning. This is unbelievable. I think the safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap. We've got to make sure these tyres are nicely up to temperature so we can attack right from word go. These guys on hards are going to struggle to get their tyre temps up, so this is our best chance to strike. The safety car is going to give us a second win with these tyres because we can cool them out and absolutely make sure we can get to the end now, even with maximum attack. So here we go, keeping the tyres warm. Safety car is pulling in now. Ricciardo has got to time this well, otherwise he's nowhere in this race. As we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix, 8 laps to go, and we've already got Norris into turn 1. P2 in this Grand Prix, and we are staring down the barrel of potentially our second victory in this career mode journey. And we're only a few laps away. As you can see, a massive moment there between us and Lando Norris. I'm sorry I didn't get very excited there, but my voices, I've got nothing left at this stage. Absolutely nothing. Lando's struggling in the middle sector. Looks like those tyres are really struggling to come up to temperature. Did have a bit of dirty air there. Ricciardo, though, absolutely flying, keeping it cool under pressure. And those hard compound tyres have so much life left in them. I've got to get myself together a little bit and, you know, get within the DRS of Ricciardo. If I don't strike early, and his hards are going to be way faster than ours in only a matter of laps. So we've got to do what we can now. As we said, our fastest lap of the Grand Prix, Lando Norris quickly, you know, takes his own fastest lap off of us. So we've all got pace, and it just depends on when we're going to use the battery, when we nail a lap together. But for the time being, it looks like I've probably seen the best of these tyres now. Ricciardo is pulling away. He's pulled outside of 1 second of DRS. And if anything, that advantage should only get stronger for the rest of the Grand Prix. Now the tyres are overheating. So, yeah, that could be game over. That could be curtains for our race. Ricciardo now flexing the muscles and pumping in fastest laps at will. So now we've just got to hold on as hard as we can to P2. We need these championship points because our rivals are down the order. The likes of Hamilton, he's on the fringes of the points. He's actually just overtaken Nico Rosberg, who was in P10. So Hamilton's in 10th now and is on the soft compound tyres and has got many slow cars ahead of him. And, well, you can see now a quick little Hamilton overtaking montage. That makes it 9th place now. Every straight, he was just picking off the midfield runners one by one. That is Sebastian Vettel now. These guys not even putting up a fight, not going defensive, not braking super late. They're just saying, yeah, here you go, son. That's the position. Thank you very much. So, yeah, Hamilton quickly claiming back those points, which he, you know, rightfully deserved before the Verstappen incident. Speaking of Verstappen, not in the points at this stage. He's a little further back, believe it or not. He's struggling to make overtakes, whereas Hamilton is flying. And here we go. I think this might be us heading on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Norris having a little look down into turn 1. We had to cover that off. Otherwise, that would have been game over for our race. So defending very hard into turn 1. Here comes Hamilton. Once again, this one might be for P7. That's Carlos Sainz right in front of him. So he's pretty much recovered to where he would have been had it not been for the crash. So Hamilton with an unbelievable recovery in that Mercedes just shows how strong the car is. Put them on the right tyre at the right time, and they're absolutely flying. So the AI, I think, as a whole, need to be a bit more aggressive, particularly those championship leaders who just kind of accepted defeat at times with you know, where they were in the race. But we won't get into that. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo is going to come around the last corner, and he is going to make his claim for the championship. That is a win in the Dutch Grand Prix, Verstappen's backyard. He's done the job, as have we. 18 points.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a good finish. Well done.
And would you believe, we started last in this race. What a drive.
McLaren have pulled it off. They've won in spectacular fashion here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure. And no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight.
They certainly will be indeed, Crofty. I am very keen now to see what the drivers' standings looks like, because we've had a great round. Ricciardo's had a good round as well. Hamilton, actually, to be fair to him, hasn't had a disastrous day. That is a great lesson in damage limitation. He was about P5 or P6 pre-incident, and he's only finished P7. So to claw back that amount of ground is remarkable. Verstappen, not so good. P12 for him. Fastest up though. Which absolutely counts for nothing. And in terms of the drivers, it's a three-way tie. Much like the Cars movie. Well, imagine if this was the last episode of the season. That would have been incredible indeed. Hamilton, Ricciardo, and Benjamin Daly all tied for first place. Fourth and fifth also tied. Bottas and Norris. As is P6 and P7. Perez and Verstappen. And it's tied for the constructors. What is going on? What actually is going on? This is an unbelievable race. An unbelievable recovery. And it was all caused, I'm going to say it once again, by the spin. I've never been so happy to spin out in my life. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. At this point, I'm a little bit scared that maybe, genuinely, someone at Codemasters is watching when I'm playing the game and they've got their finger hovering over the button to deploy the safety car to get me out of trouble every time. Well, apart from co-op. We won't talk about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.